Hi everybody, welcome to Book Bust. Before I start the video, I want to ask you a couple of questions. Very first question coming up your way. Tell me, did you grow up reading Ruskin Bond books? I did. Next question, did you consider Mr. Bond as your granddad? I did. If answer to any of those questions is yes, then keep watching this video because I will be giving you 5 book recommendations today which are obviously written by Mr. Bond. So before I get into the video and give you 5 book recommendations by Mr. Bond, you subscribe to Book Buzz because we come up with book buzzing content every week. Also, I want to tell you a little bit about Ruskin Bond is that he was born here in then British India. He even though went abroad for work and living, but his soul belonged to India. He came back and started working as a full-time writer eventually. He now lives in Mussoorie, which is in Uttarakhand, India. He has been awarded by awards like Padma Shri, Padma Bhushan and Sahitya Academy Award. The first book that I want to recommend today is The Room on the Roof. It is one of the most popular books written by Mr. Bond, and that's one of the reasons that I want to recommend it today because it's fabulous and everybody loves it. It depicts a very true image of 17-year-old orphan boy. The Room on the Roof is the story of a boy called Rusty. He is now living with his guardians, Mr. and Mrs. Harrison, who want him to grow up as an Englishman, but he is just a 17-year-old boy and he wants to live that life. He wants to live in his teenage. So one day when he comes back after playing Holi with his Indian friends, he get beaten up brutally, and that's when he decides to leave the home. It is one of the critically acclaimed book written by Mr. Bond because he was 17 himself around the time when he wrote this book, and it gives a lot of emotions of the boy, and he talks so vividly about the nature around him and how the boy, the Rusty, wants to explore everything. As you know, Mr. Bond has primarily written for children. He has vividly explained the nature around him in the simplest and the most beautiful way. So the second book that I want to recommend today is Dust on the Mountain. It is the collection of short stories written by him, and it reeks of mountain and the nature. I think it will be the best pick for right now if you want to couch travel to mountains, because I surely think that mountains are calling me and I am gonna pick this book one of these days again. Now you know that Mr. Bond is a mountain boy. His soul belongs to the mountain, and one of the common thing in mountains is the ghost stories. So Mr. Bond has written those as well. My third recommendation is the Ghost Stories from the Raj. It is the collection of short 19 stories. His readers varied from age 9 to 90, so he has to write for everybody. If you like this book, then don't forget to check out Parchai, Ghost Stories by Ruskin Bond, and it is available on Z5. The fourth book that I want to recommend you today is Delhi is Not Far. It is a story about 5 people. They live in a small town called People Nagar, and they have big dreams which revolve around the city Delhi. Pick this book if you want to read something about a small town, because I know we all are stuck at home these days, so it'd be fun to do the couch traveling, isn't it? When I was introduced to Bond's work, he was some 60-year-old man. I instantly believed him as a granddad who wants to tell me stories. So I always looked him as a writer who has written for children, but that's not true. He has written so many things for adults as well. And this book recommendation is one of the best examples for it. And the fifth and the last book recommendation is Tales to the Open Road, which is also seen as On the Road by Ruskin Bond. It is a travelogue. It talks about his journey over last 50 years, and it includes the pictures he has taken on those journey. He talks about Dehradun, he talks about Missouri, he talks about Rishikesh and Delhi and other places he has been over 50 years. So it is the travelogue that you want to read if you want to see the India that Mr. Bond saw in last 50 years. That's it, folks. That's the 5 book recommendation that I have for you. I hope you like these book recommendations, and do tell me if you have read any of these books or any book that you want to recommend me which is written by Mr. Bond. Do not forget to like this video and share this video with friends with whom you have read Mr. Bond's books. So keep reading and be here for book buzzing content. Our team wishes you a very happy birthday, sir.